Hi everyone, welcome back to the lesson. It's so nice to see you again. This is lesson number 31, and in today's lesson we are going to be talking a little bit more about what we learned in lesson 30. So we're going to talk about what we learned in the previous lesson. As you know, we just covered the present perfect tense, which I have written right here, and we use the present perfect tense to talk about several things actually. One, we use it to talk about how long something has been going on and it's still an unfinished action, so it's still going on, like for example, when you've known somebody for a long time, like for example right here in this example, when you say, I have known him for many years. Okay, you still know him. Your relationship, your friendship with him is still continuing. It's not unfinished. It's not an unfinished action. So we use this tense for saying things like, I have known him for many years. Okay, I have known him for many years. We also use it with to. Okay, so there's a couple things that we use it. So we had one, like right here, but also with to. An unfinished sort of time word, which we're going to learn later today. We have time words in English, which includes words such as today, this week, this month, and this year. And we can also use it with three, when talking about recent events and using the present perfect tense with words such as just, yet, already, and recently. And finally, you can use it typically to talk about a life experience. All right, so that's number 4, talking about your life experiences, what you've done in your life. So in order to make the present perfect tense, remember that all you need is to basically start off with a pronoun, and then you have to add the verb have, to have, okay? I have, you have, he, she, it has, we have, and they have. And then after that, you need to add the past participle. Okay, so you need the past participle after the verb. Okay, don't forget, have or has. That's the present perfect tense. Okay, so don't forget that. And that's how you make it. So let's go ahead and look at the other examples here. So you can say, I have known him for many years, have known. I have run a total of 10 kilometers today. Okay, I have run, okay, so you run a total of 10 kilometers today. That's a lot, right? That's a lot of running. Okay, let's go to the next one. She has wanted, has, third person singular, she has, he has, it has. Wanted, okay, past participle of the verb to want. To be a singer since she was 5 years old. Okay, so we're talking about an uncompleted action, right? The action started when she was 5 years old. She wanted to be a singer. At that moment, she was 5 years old. And she still wants to be a singer. Okay, it hasn't stopped. It's still an uncompleted action, so that's why we use this tense. And finally, we have not considered visiting Barcelona yet. Okay, have not considered, past participle, visiting Barcelona, Spain yet. Okay? You can see that we have the word yet. Remember that we use these words when we're talking with the past participle? Okay? We'll look at more of these later on. Okay? So guys, just make sure that you remember these things. Okay? Now let's go ahead and talk about the past perfect tense, which is a little bit different, but also super easy. Now, the past perfect tense is used to talk about an action that occurred at a time in the past. Okay, it occurred at a time in the past and it happened before another action happened. Okay, so oftentimes when we use this, you'll see us using the past perfect tense with the simple past. Okay, for example, I wanted, that's the simple past. Okay, that's an example, I wanted. And the past perfect tense is I had wanted. Okay? Do you remember from the previous example? We had one that said, I saw her at the beach. I saw. That's the simple past. I saw. Okay? Or you could say, I had seen her at the beach. Okay? So I had seen her. That's the past perfect tense. Had seen. Okay? Now, as you can tell, the formula to create the past perfect tense is a pronoun, I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. And then you have to use this word here, had. Okay, you can't use have or has. You have to use had. And then after that, you need the past participle. All right. It doesn't matter if the subject is singular or plural. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it can be both. Now, let's go ahead and look at the examples here. We had just started to eat dinner when somebody knocked on the door. When someone knocked on the door. Sometimes people can say somebody, sometimes people can say someone. Okay, somebody, someone. You choose. We had just, okay, just, remember we have from words over here, started to eat dinner when somebody knocked on the door. Okay, to knock on the door is like when you go to a friend's house, you knock on their front door. We had just started to eat dinner when someone knocked on the door. They had thought about it for a long time, even before the topic came up. They had thought about it for a long time, even before the topic came up. Okay, so in this one, they had thought, okay? For example, had thought, okay? Coming from the verb to think, right? I think. Yesterday I thought, okay? I had thought about it for a long time, okay? We're talking now in this tense. Okay, and the topic came up, meaning the topic, somebody talked about the topic, okay? It came up at a conversation, right? Nobody was talking about it before, but now people are talking about it because somebody mentioned it, right? They thought about it. Next, had you visited Egypt before the revolution occurred? Had you visited Egypt before the revolution occurred? Okay, so you can see that we had, right? Had you visited, okay, Egypt before the revolution occurred, right? So notice here that we have the simple past. The revolution occurred, okay? And then we're talking about something that happened before another thing happened, right? So the revolution occurred, but what happened before that? We're asking, had you visited? It's a question. Had you visited Egypt before the revolution occurred? Okay, so you can tell here that's why we use this sort of tense. Next we have, it got dark once the sun had set. Okay, so the sun had set, it went down, and then it got dark. Okay, it got dark once the sun had set. Okay, so keep practicing these ones because sometimes these are a little hard for people who are learning English. All right, next we have this one. By that time, I had been working there for 10 years. By that time, I had been working there for 10 years. We're talking about a time period, okay, and we're talking about a specific time. So by that time, comma, I had been, okay, had been, remember, past participle from the verb to be, right? Remember, the simple past of to be is I was. Or you were. Okay, yesterday I was, da 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 da. By that time I had been, da 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 da. Okay, working there for 10 years. Okay, by that time I had been working there for 10 years. All right, so make sure you practice those, guys. These are a little bit more complicated than these ones. Okay, so as you can see, we use the past perfect tense, which is right here, to indicate the completion of something that happened before the completion of another action, like in these examples that you see right here. Okay, now let's go ahead and move on and talk about time expressions. So remember how I told you how we use these tenses with time expressions? And you'll notice that we have some time expressions in here. For example, we have just, and we have before, other words that we have here. Let's go ahead and look at a few of them. Just, okay, so basically we use just to refer to a recent time or a short time before or after something. Next we have already. Okay, already is used to express that something has happened sooner than expected. Next we have yet. Okay, yet is used for interrogative and negative sentences, and it sort of suggests a time that is later than expected. Okay, so we use it to talk about times that's later than expected when we speak English. For, okay, for is used to express a duration of time, how long something happens for. Since, okay, since. Since is used to refer back to a previous point in time. Ever, okay, ever is used in interrogative sentences as well. And then we have never, okay, and we use never for affirmative statements, but the meaning, when you use never, it's always negative, okay? So we use it in affirmative statements, but the meaning is negative, okay? Now let's go ahead and look at some sentences with these words right here. They had just left the house when you called. They had just left the house when you called. So they had just, right, from here, had just left the house when you called. Don't forget to take your phone. I already have it. Okay, already. Have you seen that movie? No, I haven't seen it yet. Yet, okay. It's been a long time since I've heard that song, okay? We're talking about since, a previous moment in time. It happened a while ago. We had gone to work in Germany for 3 months. We had gone to work in Germany for 3 months. Have you ever slept through your alarm clock? We're talking about a moment that has happened throughout any time in your life, okay? So have you ever, right, slept through your alarm clock? Even one time. Have you done it? Maybe once, maybe twice. Okay? Slept through, okay? Meaning, it's an expression, guys. In English, when you see this, to sleep through something, it means something is going off. In this case, the alarm clock. So it's going beep, 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 and you're still asleep. You're not waking up. You sleep through your alarm clock. Your alarm clock is ringing. I have never eaten lobster before. Okay? I have never eaten lobster before. Never, never. It's a positive affirmative statement, right? I have never eaten lobster before, but the meaning is negative. The connotation here is negative. Never, never. Okay? So make sure you remember these words here, guys. These will come in handy for you if you want to speak English really well. I'm sure you will. All right, guys, I think that's about it for now. I hope this lesson was easy enough for you guys to follow. If you liked this lesson and learned something today, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, please. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.